As a Hungarian-Australian actively involved in the Hungarian community in Sydney, I often ask myself, how will Hungarian culture continue, given that over the last decade there's been a large shift in young people's engagement, with less of them volunteering in Hungarian community organisations or attending Hungarian cultural festivals and events. However, despite there being a decline in this area, what I found is that there's been a growing rise among some young people, my own friends included, who have gone overseas and attended what is called the Balassi Institute. What is this institute, you ask? Well, it's a cultural organisation run by the Hungarian government, which provides a birthright program and scholarship opportunity to the second and third generation to enhance their Hungarian identities through a 10-month culture and education experience. Now, this is where it gets a bit juicy. I held a focus group with Hungarian-Australian community leaders to get a sense of what their opinions were of the institute and its growing popularity among young people. What they told me was that there were two main outcomes they found with those who went. The first outcome related to students who attended the program to enhance their Hungarian cultural knowledge and language skills, then returning back to Australia and volunteering in some of the organisations here, some even taking on leadership roles. Ideal, right? Well, the second outcome related to students who abused the program, using the scholarship as an opportunity to fund a year of partying, then returning back to Australia and not giving back to the community here. Therefore, my research aims to ask, firstly, what motivates these young Hungarian Australians to participate in this program? And secondly, to determine what impact their 10-month time in Hungary has had on their identities and belonging, particularly since returning back to Australia. What have they done since they've returned? Have they volunteered in these organisations, or have they travelled back to Hungary? Do they feel more Hungarian, or do they just have some great stories to tell their mates about their international gap year? And this is where my focus on transnationalism is key, as it understands identity as a result of the cross-border engagements which occur between two or more countries, so Australia and Hungary. And therefore, through conducting interviews with ex-Balassi students, I'm hoping to get a sense of their transnational identity performances and engagements, or lack thereof, with Hungary and the community here in Australia. So, why am I doing this? I'm hoping to shed some light on the future directions of Hungarian cultural continuity in Australia to determine whether these overseas experiences are successful avenues of Hungarian cultural expression among young people. In doing so, I'm wanting to shed further light on the roles that these diaspora organisations play in not only developing cultural identities for, but in developing transnational ties with these subsequent migrant generations. So effectively, my research is aiming to better understand then why these young Hungarians are, cute cheesy pun, hungry for the Balassi opportunity, and in turn, why Hungary as a nation is equally hungry to reach out to its young diaspora. Thank you.